I, 18, just graduated and gonna be starting community college in August. Barely started doing full-time hours, but that'll change to part-time again once I start my classes. Before my 18th birthday over a month ago, my parents started talking about how they expect me to pay for rent, then half the bills if I expect to stay there. That wasn't the problem. The issue was they were expecting me to pay $1,300 a month for my tiny room that I share with my little brother. Not including the half of the bills they expected me to pay. Most apartments in our city are around that range, but that's for a whole-ass apartment, not a single bedroom plus sharing space with everyone else. Most of my paycheck would just be going to the den. Like I asked my parents, I don't got a problem with helping with the bills and paying for my room if they made the rent to be lower. They said that's how much they agreed on, so that's what I'd have to pay if I want to keep staying there. So I said fine and talked to one of my friends I already knew, had his own place, but was looking for a new roommate for the past 3 months. Ended up going with him, and he added me to the lease. My own room and bathroom, plus the total for rent and my half of the bills, it's like way less than the rent by itself that my parents expected me to pay. But the thing is, they're super mad at me for leaving. My mom ignored me when I moved out, my dad kept saying how he's so disappointed in me. For a while they were hoping to rely on me with helping out with their mortgage payments on the house, also with the bills, so now that I've chosen to leave instead, my dad says I'm going to leave them really struggling and he can't believe I decided to be selfish instead of helping my family out. So that's sort of why I'm asking if I'm the a-hole. It was super high what they were expecting me to pay, literally whole paycheck would go to just that, but also I left them to struggle when they were hoping for me to help out, so I don't know. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. $1,300 for one room would be a rip-off under the best of circumstances. For a parent to try to charge their barely legally an adult son that amount of money for his freaking childhood bedroom is outrageous. Might I suggest they cut back on the avocado toast and get a second job? Holy shit, the entitlement. Not the a-hole. That's unreasonable. Maybe something like paying for the bedroom and part of the groceries, but like flipping 1.3k. Besides, they're using you like a cash cow, so better move out now than later. That was $1,300 plus half the household bills for a shared room. How big is the house? That's probably more than half their mortgage. They probably will also expect OP to follow house rules as if they were still a minor as well. I'm the mom of an adult child, and wow. We charged my daughter $300 plus her phone. She had the use of one bathroom and the laundry room 2 days a week. She's really bad about transferring her loads. She paid for her own groceries, toiletries, gas, car, insurance, etc. The point of asking a young adult child for rent is to help with the transition to the real world, not to transfer responsibility for the household onto their shoulders. If your parents were struggling, then that is how they should have approached it. We're struggling, can you pay $1,300 for the next few months to help us out? They couched it as rent, told you to move out. If you didn't want to pay it, then got mad because you moved out. Say what you mean what you say. Not the a-hole. You got a better price from a competitor. Hard luck, mom and dad. Not to mention it's shameful of them to expect over $1,300 a month for a shared room. They wanted to keep your money around, not you. They showed their true colors. Parents don't rely on their 18-year-old child to fund their poor financial choices. They made their bed, let them fly in it. Not the a-hole. Charging you $1,300 to share a room? Yikes. And half the bills. I'd understand if it was you and one parent, but there are at least 3 other people in the house, so 1/4 of the bills would be much more reasonable. It sounds like they were planning to dang near extort you to cover their financial situation. What they wanted to charge you and utterly unreasonable. Back in March, his parents decided they wanted to come wait quarantine out at our apartment. For starters, they never asked. His mother called and told me that they were on their way and to prepare our spare bedroom for them. I was already apprehensive about them staying with us because his parents have always been extremely rude to me. They are overly critical of everything I say and do. They are massive control freaks who feel entitled to always be in charge. So right off the bat things are miserable. They verbally abuse me daily, tell me what I can and can't do in my own apartment, and are overall just the worst. Out of everything, the air conditioning caused the biggest debacle. Where I live it has been 85-90 almost every day. I normally keep my air on 70, but when they started complaining, I turned the air up to 75. This is already a little toasty for me, but I was willing to be a little hot to try to keep the peace. This was not good enough for them. They don't want the air on. Period. They want the heat on. And they turn it on every single opportunity they get. I wake up in the middle of the night covered in sweat. I have told them to stop countless times. Yesterday I finally cracked. I put about 10 pieces of duct tape over the thermostat with a note attached that said, "Do not touch the thermostat while I am at work." 6 p.m. I walk into my apartment and am automatically hit by a hotter and more humid heat than it is outside. Duct tape and note have been torn off the thermostat and they have the heat on 98 fucking degrees. I go into the guest room and say, why could you not follow the simple instruction of do not touch the thermostat? This is my home. I am tired of you saying rude things to me. I am tired of you treating me like a child and creating your own rules for my apartment. You either need to be respectful towards me and learn to accept my boundaries or go back to your own house. His mother said, and I disdainfully quote, "You have no right to barge in here without knocking." That was not only an invasion of privacy, but you need to take the attitude out of your tone. I've dealt with much bigger bitches than you before. She went on for 30 minutes and I just tuned her out. When she was done talking I told her to get out. Now my boyfriend is angry with me because I couldn't just let them have their way. He wants me to call his mom and apologize, but I don't think I should have to. I may have been rude to her, but it was only because I have spent the past 2 months dealing with her abuse and trying to politely ask her to stop treating me that way. I got tired of politely asking someone to stop treating me like shit in my own home, in which I was letting them live in for free. I also got tired of my boyfriend refusing to defend me and allowing her to say and do whatever she wanted. I am trying to understand their perspective, although it just doesn't seem reasonable to me. If Reddit determines I am the a-hole, I will call and apologize. Not the a-hole. And I would seriously consider a future with him if he's not willing to support you now. It will only be worse in the future when it comes to his parents. The good thing is they are at the boyfriend-girlfriend stage, so she get a fuck out as soon as possible. That boy needs a lesson in life. OP, not the a-hole. Run as fast and as soon as you can. His mother called and told me that they were on their way. Right then and there you should have told them to turn around. The better thing is that they have a spare guest bedroom she can sleep in instead of with him, haha. It will probably be hard to find a new apartment and move out right now. Not the a-hole. Get out. This won't change. Not the a-hole. Why do you even stay with your boyfriend? He's clearly choosing his mother over you every single time. You should be kicking all three out. Not the a-hole, they were under your roof. They came unannounced, but what I've seen from this story I would think that your BF knew before and he said okay before telling you anything. They overstayed their welcome and tried to change your lifestyle in your house. Unacceptable. I don't know how bad the heated argument was at the very end, but she shouldn't have called you a bitch no matter what. They are the ones that need to apologize. Your boyfriend sucks. How dependent is he to his parents that he bends over backwards to ignore all the shit they do and ask you to apologize? Just kick him to the curb next to his beloved parents too. The wildest thing is he is not dependent on them for anything at all. It's literally just a matter of he's really scared of them and doesn't want them to be mad at him. They have been like this his entire life and it has made him really skittish and nervous around them. I don't think he would give them okay without discussing it with me first, but at this point I can't be sure. Their entire relationship just consists of them treating him like a doormat and him doing whatever they want. Alright guys, so my boyfriend and I just had a very long conversation. I admitted to him that I vented on Reddit and I screenshotted a bunch of comments for him to read through. He was mostly silent for a while and got a little emotional. Eventually he asked me if I showed him all these comments because I was planning on leaving him. I told him no, I wasn't going to just dump him without giving him the chance to work through our issues if he was willing to. I explained to him that I understand his past trauma with his mother, but it doesn't make it okay for him to enable her to be abusive towards me. He agreed that he was in the wrong and he should have made a bigger effort to step in and defend me. He also apologized for asking me to call his mother and apologize. I told him that I wasn't going to make him choose between me and his mother, but if we were going to have a healthy relationship he would have to start going to therapy and he would have to confront his mother about her behavior. I told him I would stand by him and support him as he did it, but it was something he would have to do on his own. I told him that we were setting some hard boundaries, and one of those boundaries would be that his parents are no longer allowed to stay with us. Ever. He agreed that was for the best and admitted he's been miserable these past 2 months too. He mentioned that cutting off his family might be what is healthiest for his mental health and how that is something he would discuss with a psychiatrist when he goes. I told him that I was extremely hurt, that not only was he willing to prioritize his mother over me, but he was willing to cause me pain to satiate her need for control. It bothered me a lot that he made me really feel like I was the a-hole, to the point that I made this post to try to gain perspective. After that, he told me he would call his mother and request she apologize for treating me so poorly the past 2 months. Honestly, that is a really big step for him, and I am very proud of him for that. It shows me that he is willing to work on his issues. I do think seeing a professional might help him process these emotions better and develop healthier coping mechanisms. Overall, right now it seems like we're going to be okay relationship-wise, as long as he is committed to actually following through with his promises. Thank you to everyone who commented, you have been extremely helpful. I will keep you guys updates on any new developments.